let's continue putting the ESC boards in and tightening down the lenses with the LEDs in them. So we're still working on the rear of the copter here. I did find these small screws that were put into the soldering station, which I just couldn't see them, so I took the soldering station back to the garage where it lives, and there were the screws. Took a little break and that helped find the screws. Let's seat this lens on here. Hold it with one hand and put the screw in here. Get this screw in one side of this lens. It's going in, that's good. Let's get the other one in the other side. These screws were so worn from me taking this thing apart 3 times. These are brand new screws, but the other ones were getting quite torn up from taking these things on and off 4 or 5 times. The screws got worn out. The screwdriver here is still good, but the screws got worn out, so it's funny how that works. Things all wear out. Okay, so this lens is about on. One more screw to go in here. And that'll take care of that. So you've probably lived through 5 hours of videos if you watched these all at one point. My camera battery's gone dead a few times and I cut off the videos. Now we're back to an ESC which needs to get inserted to the motor pod. And what I've been doing is just figuring out how these things seat. They're perfect squares, so I just try and jam these things in here so they just fit down and work. And sometimes I have the wires to the side and it works. In fact, I put one of these boards in upside down once and it still worked, of course. It doesn't matter. As long as the board's attached to the wires, it doesn't matter what orientation it's in. And this one, I seem like the wires all twisted funny. Okay, well, we're going to put the board down and just scrunch it in there. And hopefully it won't break anything. If there's too much tension, you don't want to really push on it, but if you can get the posts to line up. This one, the wires are really poking off to the side here because I put them into the side on the side. So I'm bending those wires up a bit. The 2 DC wires, the black and red DC wires from the controller, I put them in sideways, as you recall, on some of these because I couldn't solder it well. Okay, this one looks like it's going down. Yeah, it's lining up pretty well. I have one corner here where I can't seat it at all. It won't really seat down there. So the reflector would go on even. I don't like doing this by not seating the board all the way, but I don't want to crack the board. For whatever reason, I can't seat this board. But you know what? It's in there enough that I don't really want to disturb it too much and break it. So I'm going to call this one good. Seat the reflector on here. Yeah, the reflector was on well. I gotta get some screws out here. Get 40 small screws out of this bag without losing them. Okay. There. We have 4 screws, we got the reflector, we're going to reseat the, lens. We're going to reseat the lens here, get it reseated. The lens is reseated. Put in the 4 screws to the lens. And that should finish this lens. Make them snug, not too tight. This is 3 out of 4 lenses, so we're getting down to the finish line here with this stuff. I sure didn't like how this ESC board's seated, but I guess beggars can't be choosers. I'm happy this bird is back together at all, and the motors are spinning, so what the heck. Okay, that lens is on. One more to go. Let's seat this ESC board. This one seems like it's friendly enough. What if we try and seat it like that? Nope. So it seems like I'm seating them well with the wires sideways. The wires are actually a bit too long, so I'm putting the thing sideways, and that's working. Let's make sure this last one goes in well, and we can call this done. I'll try and put a few wires between. No, that's not going to work. This might be one of the most delicate operations, is getting this ESC board in. And I'd be curious how people seat these well. Okay, so it's only going to go in one way. This is only going to go sideways. As you can see, the wires all come out from here, and I can't get in like that. It's got to go in sideways like this. So I'm going to make that work no matter what, because I'm stuck. And this red wire's in the way. So can I move it a bit and push it out of the way? I don't know. It's definitely jamming up on this red wire, and the red wire is this DC wire. So we're going to move the DC wire out of the way, get it back down on the post here. I wish you could see this better, but I don't have a great setup for doing this. This one is one of the hardest ones to get in. Okay, so it is in. It's like the other one where the one post toward the wires is not seating. And I'm not going to force it. 3 out of 4 posts are now good, one's not. I don't really bloody care about it. I'm just going to put it together. It'll work. Okay, so that's that. I need 4 more little screws here. Hopefully I won't lose these. There, they've plunked out of the little bag onto the cardboard here box where the drone came in. The drone body, I should say, came in this little cardboard box, which I'm reusing as a work table in a bedroom. How nice. Okay, so now this is going to get put down. The lens is now down. Let's put the screws in the lens. That screw went in, and I'm going into the low corner. The screw is going in, I think. Yep, it bit and it grounded. Let's put in one more screw here. So we're 2 screws away from having these lenses. Oh, it cracked. This is a lens with a crack in it. And when I took that screw down, torqued it, it made another crack. So I should replace this lens, but I'm not going to bother. Okay, so this guy is torqued down with the 4th screw going into this lens. I pronounce these lenses done and in. So we have that done. Let's put the legs on it now, the support struts, the landing struts. These only go in one way. Can the cam see this? Yes, it can. So these only go in one way. And they'll either go in or they won't. So that one does go in there. We need the big Allen wrench to put this guy in here. See the antenna here? We gotta tape that down. I guess I'll do that later. Okay, so this strut is in. Don't make it too tight, just snug it. This strut here, we must deal with the antenna wire, so we're going to put it through here. Do you see how that goes? Right through this little hole here. And you want to tape this little antenna wire to the strut. So make sure it's correct. Make sure you don't wreck this wire putting this together, okay? Just like that. There's the hole the wire's coming out, goes in this hole here. Put in the strut, hold the wire taut while you're putting it down, so just get pinched in here. And it goes right in. So that's your antenna wire. You'll want to tape that thing to the landing strut with some tape. Use some black electrical plastic tape. There we go. I still got some tape hanging around here, which is not great, but it might be useful to put this on or not. I need to get some more tape. Maybe I can just put it through here for now so it's not flopping around. Yep. Just kind of crinkle it on here so I can get better tape later. Okay, so little antenna is on there, hanging down. This bird's about ready to go. We gotta now do the accelerometer, so we're gonna put this thing on the floor. Connect the PC back up to it and do the accelerometer. Actually, I'm using a Mac, so there's the bird on the floor. Let's see if we can demo this thing now. Let's get the Mac. Fire up the program again. And do the accelerometer calibration. Program is still loaded. Can you see this thing on the computer? Yeah. Okay, so here we're just going to do the accelerometer. Going to plug it back in to the computer. The bird is on now. Okay, the bird looks good. Do we got a good focus on this thing? Yeah, we do. So just do the accelerometer now. Under calibration. Calibrate accelerometer. Calibrate. And it beeps a bit. Don't touch it. Make sure it's on a flat surface, and it's done. Do I gotta restart this thing? It restarted itself. That's about it. Go back and check the motors again, maybe? See if we can do that. Oh, for some reason this thing disconnects and you gotta reconnect the plug. Because it rebooted. So take a look at the sensors and the voltage and all that. Let's take a look. Can you see the screen here? Yeah, you can see it. So the voltage is showing the x-axis. So you move this bird around, is it going to react? Yeah, there's negative, there's positive, side to side. So the bird's working. It can detect motion, pitch, yaw, all that stuff. They're all moving, so this thing can detect. It looks like the pressure is wobbling, which is good. The atmospheric pressure is working. Temperature of 24.81, 75 degrees in this room. That's about right. Enable testing on the motors. Let's spin up motor number 2 in the front left. Back left, I'm sorry. Spin up the front left motor. Spin up number 4 here. Spin up number 3. It's kind of cool spinning these motors. I guess I should show you how this works. So you can actually click this portion here. Let's focus this thing. You can click this here, which says enable testing, and when you enable testing, then you have the ability to run each motor. So you can put the mouse over, say, motor 2. You can probably see it running on the camera. Motor 1 in the back. Motor 4. Motor 3. So the compass on this thing got calibrated last weekend before the wreck. So since I didn't change latitude and longitude, I think it's probably still good. I'm not going to bother with the compass. And this bird should be ready for a flight when the props are put on. So I could take you guys through the motors again, how to calibrate them while we do that. So let's assign the ESCs again so you can watch this go. This is really easy. Let's back the camera out. to get a full view. There. So to calibrate the ESCs, you hit ESC assignment here, and now you rotate the blinking motor. The front is the same as the front. Rotate this one here, rotate this motor, rotate this one here. That's about it. Now you got to restart the Q500, so let's restart it. Power off, power on. Take the plug out, put it back in. Now it worked. Okay, we're connected. Let's enable testing again and test those motors. Make sure they still go. I have to say, I'm not going to kill myself. No propellers on here. Okay, let's do a test on one. One spun up. 4, 3, 2. Let's make sure they're going the right way. This motor, number 2, he's going counterclockwise. Yes, he is. Number 3 is going clockwise. He is. This number 4 here is going counterclockwise. He sure is. And this number 1 is going clockwise. Okay, so all the motors spin correctly and they're in the right spots. So this bird should fly. When we put props in this baby, it should go. Still got to put some rubber grommets on the new motors. So these motors were with the bird. Looks like there were 2 damaged motors which I replaced. So once we put grommets on this thing and props, I'm going to put these unbreakable props on. These props have been in 2 30-foot falls. They've been in accidents and they're good props. So these are Maytech props from Carolina Drones. These props will not break when they hit things at all. This thing is flipped over, these props, it's flipped over on the ground. It's hit trees. This prop has mud on it. These props might need balance now, but I'm not going to bother. I do have the Yuneec props here, but they break. I'm not so sure I want to have props on here that break. They say these Typhoon props are more efficient. And they may be, but if this thing hits a tree and the ESC doesn't stop, these ESCs will shut down when they hit resistance and the whole bird goes off and crashes. I wish it wouldn't do that. But say I hit a branch and the Yuneec propeller breaks, it will go down. If I hit a branch with this thing and the motor doesn't turn off, the bird can recover. So I like these props. They aren't as efficient for lift or for turns, but they don't break. And they got cool little decorations on them. If you can look at the little buttons there, I sure like those. What do you think of that? So I think this concludes my long seminar. There's nothing else I can really show you. But I hope you've enjoyed my rebuild. I've enjoyed it. And you have to, of course, turn the controller on and see what you can do with your bird. See if it'll start. I'm in a no-fly zone, so I have to go through a lot of problems to start this thing. I have to actually hide from the GPS, hide from the satellites, turn off GPS, and then try and start the engines right away if I want to start the engines. I didn't even know I was in no-fly zone until I tried to fly this bird outside, so I gotta take this thing in the car. Anyway, I'm not really in a mood to wreck this thing again, so I'm happy it's together. I appreciate my friend Raymond who gave me this thing and got me into the Yuneec family. And wishing you all well. I hope you found these videos useful. It's been a long 2 days putting this thing back together. I'm confident this thing will fly now. I think it will fly. So the other thing you do with this thing is you want to get this cable back on. So let's see how that goes. Let's take out the battery. Battery's out. Let's grab that little cable in there. We can just grab this and pull it out, maybe. Oh boy, it's really wedged in there. There it is. Oh look. So they all come out because they're tied together, which is a really great idea. Let's see if the cam has this.